My name is Jessica, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I also need help. I need an intervention. Send help. Here's the story, okay? I'll give you my story, as I always do, and then you can judge me, and then we can get into the makeup, okay? So, I don't know. My eyeshadow primer, I usually use the Milani one, and it's usually, like, Holy Grail. I hate that expression. I don't know why, I just do. But it works for me all the time. It's, you know, it's inexpensive. And I don't know, lately I feel like my eyeshadow has been sometimes creasing, sometimes moving, more than I expect it to, more than it usually does. So I don't know. I mean, I bought a new primer and that seemed to work for a while. I mean, maybe they're just getting old faster. I'm not sure. So I was telling my aunt, who also has hooded eyes and likes makeup, she said one of the ones she uses is the Alter Ego Cosmetics eyeshadow primer. Usually $6. I got mine on sale for $4. So here's the thing though. I don't like paying shipping. I understand it, but I don't like paying shipping. So, I mean, I had already been looking at the Goddess palette, which is the dupe for the Natasha Denona Gold palette, but that still wasn't enough for shipping. And, well, I kind of looked at the Canyon palette, which is the dupe for the Bronze palette, and the Aurora palette, that's the dupe for the Sunrise palette, and, well, I didn't have to pay shipping. So I have a few palettes to try out. Today I'm going to be testing out the Goddess palette, which is the blue and gold and neutral one, and I'm going to be testing out this eyeshadow primer. So, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Let's start with the eyeshadow primer. I don't know if it has to be shaken, but I'll give it a little shake. Feels very light, like weight-wise. I don't know if that's a good thing. And I think it has a doe foot. Let's see. Looks like a little mascara wand almost. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna be a beige kind of color. So I'm gonna try that on my worst eye. This eye is more hooded than the other. And even if my eyeshadow wears well on the other eye, sometimes it doesn't wear great on this eye anyway, no matter what I do. So if it can hold up on this eye, that is a very good sign. So I'm just going to put this all over as I normally do with my eyeshadow primer. I guess it's more translucent than I thought it was gonna be. It has a slight paint smell, but I don't care. Then on the other eye, just for comparison's sake, I am going to use the Milani eyeshadow primer. And this way, when I use the palette on both eyes, I get an idea of how the palette wears as well. But I'm going to do a few looks with it. I'll try a few different things, so don't worry. I'll be thorough as always. Though hopefully not too long of a video. I'm getting really bad with that. You probably don't want to watch the whole videos. I don't want to be editing these whole videos. And I've been getting a lot more work with the school that I work with, my alma mater, which is good, but it does leave me a lot less time for other things like makeup videos. So, in looking at the two as they are right now, I would say the Milani one looks a little drier. Could be my eyes, could be I put too much, but can you see what I'm talking about? I also feel like this one might have evened my tone out a little bit more. But we'll see as we go along. Now for the fun part. This is the packaging. It's pretty, isn't it? This is the Alter Ego Goddess palette. This kind of reminds me of Bad Habit Beauty, like the aesthetic and whatnot. Do you remember Bad Habit Beauty? I loved them. I'm so sad that they left. So here we go. Here is the palette. Now, like I said, this is supposedly a dupe for the Natasha Denona Gold palette. I don't have that palette. That would be ridiculous for me to get that palette. Too expensive, mostly neutrals, bad idea. When I saw it in store quite some time ago. I did like it, but I was definitely not going to buy it because too expensive and I wouldn't enjoy all the shades all the time. So spending $16 on this one instead for me to mostly play with the blue, gold, green stuff and then maybe the neutrals once in a while, maybe, that's a better deal, right? So today I am going to start with Gaia. And this is like the teal matte. And I'm going to use my BH Cosmetics brush with a 3 on it. And this is going to be my transition and crease shade. Nice. It's pigmented. And I don't feel like it's getting too stuck in the primer. There's no setting shade in here. That may look less blended to you, but remember a blue is not really going to like airbrush into your skin tone because of it being a blue. So this is good. I'm happy with this so far. Now that could partly be due to the eyeshadow primer. So let's try the other side with the Alter Ego eyeshadow primer. I feel like I'm basically getting the same results. Which is good. I'm just gonna clean off my brush, try to blend that out a little bit more if I can. And the same thing with the other side. Then I'm going to take my IBY crease brush and I'm just going to put that deeper into my crease because I want it to be like kind of dark in the crease. I feel like it went darker on this side than this side. Do you feel like that's true? Alright, then I'm taking that same shade and let's see. It's kind of soft and powdery and a little dry. Not a lot dry. I'm gonna put this on the outer third of my lid. Pigment's really good. Then I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 6 on it if I don't hit myself in the eye with it. And I'm just going to fill in this gap. That's not the fault of the shadow. That's me because I don't like using brushes. I use fingers. I'm just going to shape it a little bit, fill in the gap. This side came out better that way. That's because, like I said, my eyes are basically 2 different shapes here. Then I'm going to take Artemis, which is the shimmery teal. Hoping it's not going to be too black. It's a little black underneath, but let's see what happens. I'm going to put this toward the middle of my lid. Alright, not bad. And I'm going to blend that into the outer edge here. Kind of soft, kind of smooth. Hoping it won't slide around too much. Then I'm going to take Cassandra, which I don't know if you can see in the camera, but it's like a golden green duochrome. You might be able to see it better that way. Like a gold to lime. That's pretty. And I'm going to put that on the inner third. This one appears to be more sheer. So, really building it up. I'm trying to blend it into the blue. Okay. That could have gone better in my opinion. The others I think were great, the two teals. This one, again, I have nothing to compare it to, but just as a shadow on its own, I want it to be more opaque. Funny, on this side, it seems to be going blue almost. I don't know if I got some blue in it or what's going on that side there. Then I am going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 5 on it, go back into Gaia, and put that on the outer third of my lower lash line. And I'm going to try Cassandra here, and let's see if it picks up on a brush. I doubt it, but we'll see. Kinda. I'm going to put this, I think, across the whole bottom, just so we can get a better look at it. And then I'm going to take a little on my finger as well, a clean finger, see if that makes a difference. Kind of, but yeah, this one is more subtle, and even on this clean finger, see over here, it's like turning more blue. I don't know if you can tell there. Not that it's not pretty, it's just, it's not what I expected, you know? Then I'm going to take my dollar store brush, and I'm going to go into Freya. These are probably like Greek goddess names. Yeah, probably. Artemis, Athena, Pandora, Hera. But I don't know anything about that, so. This looks like it's going to be like a white gold shimmer. Let's see, I'm going to use that as my brow bone highlight. Oops. Not really picking up. Oh, there it is. Not as bright as I want it to be, but it's there. Again, maybe if you compare this to the gold palette, maybe these two shades here, the lime duochrome and the this like white gold shade, maybe they are subtle, so they tried to duplicate that. I really don't know. I'm gonna take a clean finger. Yeah, no, that's like super subtle. See that? So like I said, I don't know. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. So I'm applying it with my finger now, and we're getting closer to where I want to be with it. If this were a high-end palette, the way it's performing right now, those two shimmers I would not be happy with because of my preferences. But because this was $16 and the other two were good, and these are just need a little extra work and a little something different, I'm not that mad at it. I also wanted to use that shade as a highlighter, like a face highlight, but let's see. I'm going to take my Moda contour brush. I'm going to go into Freya. Don't see much happening. Could always use my finger. Take a clean finger. I feel like it's coming out a little more gold on my cheek here. It could be what I have underneath of it. Can you see it? I'll show you a picture in natural lighting too. Even though today it's pouring, I don't know how much natural light we'll really have. Also, so you know, I have an in-person karate class today, so these eyes should get a good test. Nice and bold and blue. Love it. Alright, so both eyes basically wore about the same. They did spread a little bit, but there was no creasing. So I'm happy about that. So I think that means that the palette is pretty good quality. I think that means that the eyeshadow primer is also pretty good quality. I have the primer on this side today, so I have the Alter Ego primer, and I have no primer on this side, just to see how the eyeshadow does without any primer, as I usually do for eyeshadow palette testing videos, or eyeshadow in general. I think I'm going to skip to swatches. I mean, obviously I've already used the shades that are most interesting to me, but I mean, with so many browns and golds and stuff, I mean, I gotta try some, right? So I'm gonna swatch these first to see what the differences are, because to me, I mean, you know, some of those browns, it's like, ah. So we have Artemis, Athena, Pandora, Iris, Lissa, Aura, Hera, Valkyrie. Yeah, so that like lime duochrome shimmer actually kind of reminds me of Tea Garden from ColourPop, like the pressed shadow, or the Moonwalk Super Shock shadow. I didn't realize that before, but the more that I wore it throughout the day, that's what I was thinking of. Gaia, Venus, Freya, which I'm thinking is a cream shadow after all, and Juno. Ooh, guess I have some swatches still left from another video. Oh, that wasn't even the lime. Yeah, this one's kind of like a greeny gold, maybe? I don't know. Luna, Avalon, Cassandra is the duochrome. Yeah, there it is. So we'll have to see how I feel about that. So here are the swatches. And the swatches honestly aren't that impressive. I also feel like it's hard to tell still, like the tones, like the difference in like some of these browns, you know, but that's okay. I'm going to start with Athena, which is, I would say, the yellowest of the beiges, with my BH Cosmetics brush with a 3 on it. And that's going to be my transition shade over here. Darker than I thought it was going to be. I was also trying to think about like what formula to compare this to, and I'm not sure. The mattes, maybe somewhere between, I don't know, somewhere between maybe a Milani and an Ace Beauté. The shimmers, maybe somewhere between a ColourPop and a Revlon. I'm not sure. It does feel like its own formula. Like originally I said, oh, I think it's going to be like the Bad Habit formula. It's definitely not. It's different. Then I am going to take my IBY crease brush and go into, I can't help myself, I want to go back into Gaia. And I'm going to put that deep in the crease. Like Gaia, for example, feels like really thin, but you see like what's happening with it. Like it's pigmented and needs a little bit of work to blend, just a little. Okay, good. So now we have like a murky green or blue into like the yellowy brown going on. I'm going to take a little bit of that and put it on the outer corner. Then I'm going to take Venus, which is like a gold bronze amber color. I think that's gonna spread. So I'm gonna apply that carefully toward the middle here, just a little bit. I'm not even gonna use everything on my finger, and then just use a clean finger to blend it. As much as I just want to slather it on, I can feel it. It's slick and a little thick. It's gonna spread on me at least. And then I'm going to take Valkyrie, which is like a brassy gold, and I'm gonna put that on the inner third to half. That one's not as slick. Blend it with the other one. Then I'm taking my BH Cosmetics brush with a 5 on it. Oops, going back into Athena. And I'm going to put that across my lower lash line. Taking it somewhat low. Then take a bit of Gaia. Tuck that in tight to the outer third. And then take Venus again, put that in the middle. Surprised it doesn't apply better with a brush given how slick it was. I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger. And then I'm going to try Valkyrie. Nah, that one needs a finger also. That's on like the inner third there. I'm going to take a little bit of Freya and see if I can just put that on the inner corner here. And I'm also going to take some of it and put it up here on the brow bone. I wish this was a powder, but it is what it is. Then for the other side, I'm going to take Hera, which looks to be maybe the pinkiest of the beiges. It's very pigmented. And that's going to be my transition shade on this side. I feel like maybe it's a little bit patchier without primer. Just gonna clean that off and try to blend out the edges a little better. Definitely looks better in person than in the camera, as always. Like there is not a harsh line going by like you see there, but also not blending exactly how I want it. That's good enough. Then I'm going to take my IBY crease brush again. This time I will take the deep brown, the Avalon shade, and I'm going to put that in the crease. I'm going to run some errands like this too. It is what it is. I've been getting called to work a lot, so I don't have a lot of time for my channel anymore, or at least right now. So since I have today off, gotta run my errands and test out my makeup at the same time. So I think this shade could do better, and I think it's because there's no primer. Like I just feel like it's not as smooth going across. Like the blending and like the application, you know what I mean? I'm gonna put some more just to see if we can go deeper. Then I'm going to take that shade and put it on my outer third. Brown eyeshadow, who am I? A foreign concept. Then I'm taking my BH Cosmetics brush with a 6 on it, this little guy, just to fill in this little gap that may have been created by me, not the eyeshadow. I'm not sure. Then I'm going to take Aura, which is a brown shimmer, like a very smooth brown shimmer. And I'm going to put that over here, like the middle-ish, and blend it into the matte brown. And then I'm going to take Pandora, which is a quite luminous light brown champagne color. This one's different too. This one's a little flakier. Let's see what it does. Ooh, okay. So I'm going to put that on the inner third to inner half and blend that in. Okay, I mean, if you like these kinds of shades, I think this is nice. I do. Then I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 5 on it and go back into Avalon, put that on the outer third. Then I'm going to take Aura, put that on the middle third. Could be shinier. And then Pandora on the inner third. Yeah, that one's definitely flakier, so I'm going to use my finger instead. And of course, blend things together. You know what, I'm going to go into Aura too and just kick that up a notch. There we go. So, obviously I'm not a brown eyeshadow channel, but I do think a lot of these tones are very similar, like at least the matte transition like shades. I do see where the tones could be different for these guys here, even if that's not my thing. But I think in application for the mattes, even if you see a little bit of difference in here on the eyes, they're not going to be that different. That being said, this is supposedly a dupe palette, so I don't have the Natasha Denona Gold palette. Maybe hers are also quite similar. If that's the case, then they nailed it, I guess. Maybe it would have benefited them to actually, I don't know, maybe it would have been better for them to go a little more different. But then maybe people wouldn't have liked the dupe. Like I said, I don't know, I don't have that palette. But as far as what I've seen so far, I like it. I'm glad I got it. Did I need it? Of course not. But definitely better for me to spend $16 or whatever I spent, because I think I got a little discount by using some influencer's code. It's definitely better for me to spend $16 or less on this for the basically few shades that I was looking for than spending, what, 100 something, 200 something on the gold palette when I just wanted like the gold duochrome, a couple of the gold shimmers, and the blues, right? All right, that's it for today. I hope you have a good day no matter what it is you're doing. Bye. See you next time.